Hey everyone! We are working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy the content and it is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button right now as we proceed. What's up, Blue Jays Nation? Buckle up because we're diving into one of the wildest situations to hit Toronto this off-season, and trust me, this one's got more twists than a soap opera. The Blue Jays are sitting on what might be the deepest starting rotation in baseball right now, but here's the kicker. They're still showing interest in bringing back not one but potentially TWO fan-favorite pitchers from their World Series run. I'm talking about Chris Bassitt and Max Scherzer. Yeah, you heard that right. The same team that just signed Dylan Cease to a monster 7-year, $210 million contract and brought in Cody Ponce on a 3-year deal is apparently not done yet. Are the Blue Jays crazy? Geniuses? Or maybe both? Let's break down this absolutely bonkers situation. Here's where things stand right now. The Blue Jays rotation is absolutely stacked on paper. Like, we're talking potentially the best in all of Major League Baseball stacked. You've got Kevin Gausman, who's been a rock for this team. Dylan Cease, fresh off his massive payday and ready to anchor the top of the rotation. Shane Bieber returning after exercising his option, motivated by a contract year and looking to prove he's fully recovered from Tommy John surgery. Trey Yesevich, the postseason phenom who went from Single-A to World Series stardom in just 7 months and struck out 39 batters in the playoffs. Cody Ponce adding depth and reliability. And oh yeah, Jose Berrios is still around too, even though there's been chatter about potentially trading him. That's 6 quality starters, folks. 6. Most teams would kill to have 4 legit options, and the Blue Jays are sitting here with half a dozen. So naturally, the obvious question is, where on earth would Chris Bassitt or Max Scherzer fit? And here's where it gets really interesting, because according to MLB insider Jon Heyman, the Blue Jays are still showing some interest in bringing back Max Scherzer. Now let me be clear here, when Heyman says some interest, that's baseball speak for we're keeping our options open but we're not exactly sure what we'd do with him. It's kind of like when you tell someone you have some interest in going to the driving range. You might do it, but you also might not. But the fact that they're even considering it tells you everything you need to know about how much they valued Mad Max during that incredible postseason run. Let's talk about what Max Scherzer brought to Toronto in 2025. The regular season? Yeah, it was rough. A 5.19 ERA over 17 starts is not what you want from a future Hall of Famer. The guy dealt with thumb inflammation that kept him out from late March until late June. He battled back issues in early September. At 41 years old, Father Time was definitely knocking on the door, and sometimes he was kicking it down completely. But here's the thing about Max Scherzer that makes him different from 99% of players out there. When the stakes were highest, when the pressure was suffocating, when the Blue Jays needed someone to step up and deliver in the biggest moments of the season, Mad Max showed up like he was still in his prime. In the postseason, Scherzer posted a 3.77 ERA. More importantly, in Game 7 of the World Series against the Dodgers, with everything on the line, he gave Toronto 4.1 innings of 1-run ball. This is a guy who could be sipping margaritas on a beach somewhere, counting his hundreds of millions of dollars, but instead is grinding through injuries and battling his way through a difficult season because he wants to win. That competitive fire, that championship mentality, that's exactly what you want in your clubhouse. And the Blue Jays know it. But wait, there's more. Because while the Scherzer situation is intriguing, the Chris Bassitt scenario might actually make even more sense, and here's why. Bassitt, unlike Scherzer, has shown he can be a Swiss Army knife for this team. During the regular season, he was Chris Bassitt classic. 11-9 record, 3.96 ERA over 31 starts and 170.1 innings. Not flashy, not spectacular, but exactly what you want from a reliable veteran who eats innings and keeps your team competitive night in and night out. He made at least 30 starts for the 4th consecutive year. The guy is durable as they come, which is gold in today's game where pitchers are dropping like flies. But here's where Bassitt really made his case for a return. When the Blue Jays moved him to the bullpen for the postseason, he was absolutely filthy. 8.2 innings, a 1.04 ERA, 10 strikeouts, just 3 hits allowed. The man was a completely different beast coming out of that pen, and suddenly you're looking at a pitcher who can give you quality starts or dominate in high-leverage relief situations. That kind of versatility is incredibly rare and incredibly valuable, especially for a team that's trying to go deep into October. Now here's where the plot thickens even more. Bassitt is still a free agent as we speak, even though it's already February. The market for him has been surprisingly quiet, which is absolutely shocking considering what he did in the playoffs. ESPN's Kylie McDaniel projects he could get a 2-year, $34 million deal, while John Heyman thinks he might land something closer to 2 years, $40 million. For a team like the Blue Jays that was willing to drop over $300 million on trying to sign Kyle Tucker before he went to the Phillies, that's basically couch cushion money. Multiple teams have been linked to Bassitt, including his former squad the New York Mets, the San Diego Padres who need to replace Dylan Cease, the Detroit Tigers who are building something special, even the Oakland Athletics where he spent 6 productive years early in his career. But here's what's important. After the World Series loss, Bassitt made it crystal clear how he felt about this Blue Jays team. He said, and I quote, "I hope I have another chance with this group. I love this group. I love these guys. You just never know, but I would love to have another shot with this group." Then he added something that'll hit you right in the feels. It's hard to replicate true love. You can try to replicate this and a lot of people will try, but it's not really possible. This group is really, really special. Come on. How can you not want to bring this guy back after hearing that? The man is practically begging to return to Toronto, and unlike Scherzer who only wants to be a starting pitcher, Bassitt has shown he's willing to do whatever it takes to help the team win. Want him as a starter? He can do that. Need him as a long reliever? He dominated in that role. Want him as a high-leverage setup guy? The numbers say he can handle it. This is the definition of a team-first player who just wants another crack at a championship. So here's the million-dollar question, or should I say the $30 to $40 million question. Can the Blue Jays actually make this work? Do they have room for either Bassitt or Scherzer, let alone both? Well, let's think about this strategically. First off, depth is never a bad thing. Last season, the Blue Jays had to rely on guys like Bowden Francis who posted a 6.05 ERA over 14 starts. They used Spencer Turnbull, Jose Ureña, Easton Lucas, all guys who were emergency options that you never want to be emergency options. Over the course of 162 games, stuff happens. Arms get tired, injuries pile up, and suddenly your 6-man rotation becomes a 4-man rotation real quick. Second, both Gausman and Bieber are free agents after this season. Berrios has an opt-out clause. That means the Blue Jays could potentially lose 3/5 of their rotation after 2026. Having Bassitt or Scherzer on board, even on a short-term deal, gives them flexibility and insurance for both this year and potentially beyond. Third, and this is huge, the intangible value these guys bring cannot be overstated. Bassitt and Scherzer are championship-caliber veterans who know what it takes to win at the highest level. Having them around younger guys like Trey Yesevich, who's only 22 and about to experience his first full season in the majors, is invaluable. The Scherzer angle is particularly fascinating because there's been talk, and this is from fans and analysts, not official reports, about him potentially taking on a player-coach role. Think about it. Max Scherzer, 3-time Cy Young Award winner, 8-time All-Star, first-ballot Hall of Famer, serving as a mentor and occasional starter. He could work with Yesevich on pitch sequencing, help Cease adjust to the American League East, share wisdom with Bieber about coming back from Tommy John surgery. All while being available to take the ball every 5th or 6th day if needed, or to provide long relief in crucial situations. That's the kind of creative roster construction that championship teams employ. For Bassitt, the case is even clearer. The Blue Jays didn't make many bullpen additions this offseason. They brought in Tyler Rogers, and that's about it. Eric Lauer is going to compete for a swingman role, but is coming off a season where he saved the rotation from disaster with a 3.18 ERA over 104.2 innings. You need guys like Lauer and potentially Bassitt who can give you multiple innings out of the pen while also being stretched out enough to start if absolutely necessary. Here's what makes this situation so wild. The Blue Jays were reportedly interested in Framber Valdez, who just signed with the Detroit Tigers for 3 years and $115 million. That shows they were at least open to adding another starting pitcher even with 6 guys already in the mix. Valdez chose Detroit, but that doesn't mean Toronto's desire to add pitching depth has disappeared. And with both Bassitt and Scherzer still available, and potentially willing to take shorter-term deals or accept flexible roles, the fit could actually work. Now let's be real about the challenges here. Max Scherzer wants to be a starting pitcher. He's said as much. The 41-year-old still believes he's got enough in the tank to compete for a rotation spot, and honestly, after what he did in Game 7, who's going to tell him he's wrong? So if the Blue Jays bring back Scherzer, there would need to be very clear conversations about expectations and roles. Same goes for Bassitt, although he's shown more willingness to be flexible. You can't just bring these guys in and hope it works out. You need a plan. The money side of things is interesting too. Bassitt's projected market value according to Spotrac is 2 years, $31 million. That's about $15 to $17 million annually, which for a guy who can start or relieve is actually a pretty reasonable price. Scherzer's market is trickier because of his age and injury history, but if he's willing to wait until mid-season like Ken Rosenthal reported he might be, you could potentially get him on a very team-friendly deal. Maybe even something with a lot of performance incentives built in. Here's my take on all of this. The Blue Jays should absolutely 100% bring back Chris Bassitt. The combination of his regular season durability, his playoff dominance out of the bullpen, his desire to return to Toronto, and his reasonable price tag makes this a no-brainer. You pencil him in as your 6th starter or primary long reliever, and you know you're getting quality innings from a guy who loves being a Blue Jay. That's worth $15 million a year all day long. Plus, if injuries hit or someone struggles, you've got a proven veteran ready to step in. Max Scherzer is trickier. The fit is murkier, the health concerns are real, and the role would need to be clearly defined. But if he's willing to accept a hybrid player-coach situation where he mentors the young guns and occasionally takes the ball, then yeah, you bring him back too. The championship experience, the competitive fire, the knowledge he can pass down, that stuff matters in October. And if there's one thing the Blue Jays proved last year, it's that they can get to the World Series. They just need to figure out how to win it. So Blue Jays fans, what do you think? Should Toronto bring back the beloved veteran duo of Bassitt and Scherzer? Is there room for both on this stacked roster? Can the front office get creative enough to make it work? Or should they move on and focus on adding that one more big bat everyone's been clamoring for? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you're enjoying this deep dive into Blue Jays off-season madness, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest updates. We're tracking every rumor, every signing, every twist and turn of this absolutely wild off-season, and you don't want to be left behind. The race to the 2026 World Series is heating up, and the Blue Jays are right in the thick of it. Let's go Blue Jays!